Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do an updated review of our Land Cruiser. We've had it for about a year. It's got 32,749. I don't know what, I'm going to have to look back at my records to see what we had before. I know we haven't driven it very much. We did take a trip to Pensacola Beach, Florida in this, and it did great. Yeah, so we actually just, we're still in love. The what are they called? The newlywed phase has never really came off of this vehicle. We love it. Actually, since we've owned this, there's things that I wish I had in my truck, like you'll see here, the 360 camera, which shows the front view when you come to a 5 mile an hour or below. I really love this. This is one of my favorite features on this thing. I really wish they would have done it on the Tundra, but they didn't, so here we are. Another thing I really like about it is the 5.7 8-speed. I think the 5.7 in my Tundra is great. I think it definitely could benefit from the 2 extra gears that we have in this Land Cruiser. I will say though, Toyota made the rear end a little taller with the 8-speed, so if they would have kept the same rear end as the old 6-speed, I think it would have been a, you would have felt the difference more. But I really wish they had this 8-speed behind my truck. It's great. The one downside of the 8-speed is that when it's cold, it can shift a little funky. And the first gear shift happens at like 7 miles an hour or so when you're just normally accelerating. So if you're pulling out of a spot that has like a bump, sometimes you'll get this weird shift where it just shifts a little harsh. But other than that, the 8-speed's been great. Even with the 33s, it still does good on the highway. It will kick out of 8th a little bit, just because it's got bigger tires with factory gears. But it's only on hills. On straightaways, it still holds 8th gear no problem, just like the factory size. So another thing I want to speak about is the ride quality with the 1-inch lift and 33s that we put on here. So I don't know if you can tell in the video, it still rides great. We kept the factory suspension basically and just put the Toyota Shim on top of the front coilover. You can see that in our video. I have an install video on that. It still rides great. It gave it that perfect stance that I was looking for. It looks tall in the front. Like the bumper is as tall, if not the same, as my 2016 Tundra that has a 3-inch lift with 34.5-inch tires. So just the 1-inch lift with 33s made this thing look huge in the front. When we went to Florida, we had this thing fully loaded down. It had a little bit of sag from all the weight we had, but it wasn't like nose high or anything. It still rode great. We lost about 1 mile per gallon everywhere with it, with the 33s. So we lost about 1 mile per gallon in the city, about 1 on the highway. But overall, I would do it again. I really like these. Basically, this gets a little bit better gas miles than my truck on the highway, but about the same in the city. So it was about to be expected. I mean, I've had 4 Tundras, including my current one. They're all 5.7s. I knew what it was going to do with bigger tires. They all do the same thing when you put bigger tires on them. They drink more fuel, but with the 8-speed though, I feel like it hasn't lost as much of its peppiness, I guess, if that makes sense. It still feels quick. It still accelerates good, even with the bigger tires. So another thing that we really love about this Land Cruiser, and I can show it here, is its adaptive cruise control. I mean, this is the aggressive setting. That was a little too aggressive, as you can see, but we really like it. On our trip to Florida, we would set it on the lowest, so you can adjust it with this button here, either far, medium, or close. We'd set it as close as possible, set the cruise, and then we weren't constantly, like in my truck that doesn't have the adaptive cruise, we have to hit the brake, slow down, speed back up. It all does it for you. A lot of people don't like it, but we really like it. But this is also our first experience with the adaptive cruise control in any Toyota. I had a Chrysler 200 that we had as a work vehicle in our fleet that had the full speed adaptive, where it would stop and go even at stoplights. And I feel like this Land Cruiser adaptive cruise is just as smooth as the Chrysler 200 was, which I think Chrysler has, at least from what I read online, their adaptive cruise is really good. I don't know, like I said, the only example I've had is that 200, which isn't really that great of a car, to be honest with you. But so yeah, the adaptive cruise we like, the automatic high beams, actually the whole Toyota safety sense. It wasn't affected with the lift, so everything still works as it should. That was one thing that I was curious about, because I know on the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner forums, people complain about the Toyota safety sense not working correctly once you lift the vehicle. So that was a good surprise that I was happy to see. It really wasn't affected. And then so yeah, it made our trip very pleasurable. We had no, it was very stress-free driving. We basically just controlled the steering wheel. It would slow us down. Even if people came to like an abrupt stop on the highway, the Land Cruiser would slow us down without being aggressive on the low setting before we got up to those cars. So that was really nice as well. Alright guys, I'm gonna hop on the highway here. Let you guys listen to some of the highway noise of the Toyos, and just see us merging here. I'll turn on ECT power and we will go. So pretty good. You can hear, hopefully you can hear on the tire noise. There basically is none. Even at 70 miles an hour, it's pretty quiet in here. I think that's just, the Land Cruiser is a pretty quiet vehicle already, and the Toyos don't put out a whole lot of road noise. They're coming up on their first rotation, so we've got almost 5,000 miles on them. But as you can hear, there's not a whole lot of road noise with them. There's a slight little whine, I think. If you really, really listen, you can hear it. But other than that, man, we're super impressed with them. And I'll let you guys listen to them decelerate here. No problems at all. I mean, it's quiet. We went to Florida, super quiet. Had no issues with them at all. Drove kind of on the sand a little bit. Great traction down there. They've had great traction and everything. I'm really excited to try them in the snow this year. They're snowflake rated, so they should be good in the snow. But yeah, guys, really, there's really not a whole lot we don't like about our Land Cruiser. Overall, we love it. Nothing's broke. Everything, the lift install went perfect. Everything I thought it would be. KDSS really wasn't a problem for me. All those valves weren't rusted shut. Now I'll kind of go into the things that we kind of don't like about it. One of the things we kind of don't like, at least I don't like, I think my wife has no complaints, but the only thing I can complain about is this infotainment, just like the one in my Tundra. Compared to other manufacturers, it's it's outdated. It's not user friendly. It's limited in what it can do, which is fine. We knew that buying this. You don't buy, in my opinion, you don't buy a vehicle for the infotainment. I know, like people that like the Ram 12-inch screen, like me personally, I wouldn't go buy a Ram just for the screen. I would have to like the whole truck and everything about the truck, the pros and cons, and weigh that in with the screen. But I think this is an 8-inch screen. It's good. It's just slow. It's on the old Intune system. I think it's even slower than the one in my Tundra, honestly, when it comes to like doing inputs. But it's nice. And then the camera system, it could be higher quality, but it serves its purpose. It's nice. It's, you know, it does its job. Another thing I think we learned that we don't like is this climate here. So you have to do the climate through the infotainment screen, which I hate that. That's one thing I hate in vehicles, is I hate having to do the climate through the infotainment. That bugs me. I wish there was a fan button down here. That's my really only complaint about it, is I wish there was a fan button. And then I think the only other thing we can complain about is the fuel economy. That's where I'm going right now, actually, is to fill up this vehicle for my wife. I'm going to put some gas in it. So with the 5.7 fuel economy, and then the Land Cruiser only has a 24.6 gallon fuel tank, which is smaller than the standard Tundra fuel tank at 26.4. It's rough. I mean, we only get about 200 and some miles out of a tank of gas, a full tank of gas, which is really rough for a vehicle like this. I think on our trip to Florida, we ended up stopping quite a bit for gas, where in my Tundra, we could literally go almost halfway there on a tank of gas, which is, I mean, it all ends up being the same amount. It's just that you have to stop more, which isn't bad, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But I'm gonna fill it up. That's basically most of our review of our Land Cruiser. Again, we love this thing. This was the best vehicle that I've ever purchased, I think. One of my favorites, at least. I would not change it. I would buy it again, no doubt. Alright guys, just to bring it to light. So we went 163 miles, took 12.442 gallons. MPG was 13.1. This is my wife driving to work and back. $35.2. I think this is a week of driving. This week she had training though, so she was driving all the way across town, stop and go traffic. So I guess 13 is really good. That's the EPA rated MPG on 33s. So I guess I really can't complain about it. But, you know, her 4Runner, she would get 15 in the city, 15, 16 in the city, and then about 21 on the highway. But it had factory size tires with a level kit too. Bilstein 5100s. I lifted the front a little bit. So, about 3 miles per gallon less than a 4Runner. What we traded that for this Land Cruiser. So, and this Land Cruiser is a nicer vehicle overall. So it's really not that bad, in my opinion, for what you're getting. So, all right, guys, this is a fresh full tank. As you just saw me talk about, I'm gonna show you the range it shows on the gauge here. Go back up just a little bit so it'll reset. Or maybe I'll go forward a little bit so it'll reset. 280 miles, guys. Not great, guys. This is just awesome. I mean, why is this not? I can't wait till this is in every vehicle. This is amazing. I mean, you can literally see everything. There's different views while I'm sitting here at the stoplight. You can see the sides. It's just awesome. So, if you guys actually have anyone that's interested in teaching, my wife is a first-year kindergarten teacher this year. So, she is doing a whole YouTube series. She just started a YouTube. She's actually really successful at it, better than me, honestly. She's got almost 800 subscribers at the time of this recording. If you'd like to check her out, it's essentially Mrs. Wilson on YouTube and Instagram. So if you have any teaching friends and you would like to follow her, give any pointers on her, you know, she embarks on her first year of teaching, be sure to check it out. Alright guys, so I drove home from the gas station about 2 miles. As you can see, I got basically 14 miles of the gallon driving this in the city from the gas station almost to our house. So, and that's me being light on it too. So, like I said, the city fuel economy isn't great. The highway fuel economy actually isn't that bad. We still get about 18 in this thing, which is actually really good. with 33s. So one thing I want to show before I end the video here is for low, you get these really nice off-road pages. You get to see the sides of the vehicle, very messy garage. You can see the front, it shows where the wheels are going. And then you see the side of this, which you can see my Tundra wheel. And has a inclinometer, tells you the angles. And it's just really nice. I really like this camera system. I hope they bring this to the next gen Tundra. And see how quick that was to go in and out of four low? I mean, boom. And then, boom. Toyota, I still think you messed up by not making this the DRL in America. It looks awesome. Instead, we get the low beam. Now, guys, we're gonna ask my wife's opinion about our Land Cruiser. It's gonna be a year old this month. She drives it most of the time, which is why it burns a lot of gas. So we're just gonna see what her opinions are of this vehicle. So, oh my gosh, I can't even make a video. So we're getting on the highway. Wife's driving a little over top today, so. FJ won't get over? Where's the FJ at now? Oh, Voodoo Blue FJ wouldn't get over? Why you do that to us, Voodoo? We're your big brother, literally. Alright, so we're on the highway. I did my little thing on this, but we'll see what my wife thinks. So what do you think about having the Cruiser for a year? What are your opinions?
I love it. Doesn't feel like it's been a year. I would have made everything weird, but, and I feel like I really, well, I just now started driving it every day again. I don't think even when we got it, we drove it every day. It wasn't working then.
No.
Maybe for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
When I went back to school, but then we went virtual again, so.
Yeah. For those that don't know, you're a school teacher, so you've been driving every day, getting your classroom set up. But other than that, it's been sitting in the garage, just like my truck.
But we took it to Florida, and I personally don't get car sick in it like I do your truck. I just think it's because it sits so high. I don't know. So usually if we're going somewhere, we take the Cruiser instead of the truck now.
Yeah, it's become the family vehicle, I guess, is what you designated to.
But I love it. It's really comfortable. Feels just safe, I guess, to be in, maybe because it's bigger. I mean, I wish the gas mileage was a little better, but it's also like not awful. When I also don't have to drive through town every day, kind of go up the back roads, and my school's only about, I can probably make it there in 10 minutes from the house, so that's not bad.
No, and we already knew kind of what I was going to get on my Tundra. It's got the same engine, so we had an idea of what fuel economy would kind of be for us before we bought it. But it's really not that much worse than the 400, except for in the city. I think on the highway it's about 1 or so less, even with the bigger tires. But in the city, I'd say it's like, what, 3 worse than the 400? You get like 15 or 16 in the 400.
Yeah.
So, it had a lift on it too, but it had the stock size tires, so. But yeah. So is there anything you don't like about it that you found? Nitpicky things?
I wish my seat, when I turned it off, I wish my seat went back like yours.
Yeah, the Platinum Tundra does that.
I got short legs, so I gotta sit close to the steering wheel and the pedals. But then when I go to get out, I have to scoot it back a little.
Luckily though, the Toyota gave the Land Cruiser 3 memory seat settings, so you set one of them as your slide back kind of thing. So, I mean, it does it, but you have to push the button to do it. So.
And I guess the other thing, just nitpicking, would be, I don't know, it's just
newer ones, like the 2017, 2018s and up, they do that. There's an extra button on the side over there. But our 16 doesn't do that. Our 16 also doesn't have the power rear hatch either, so that the newer ones have. So
Yeah, that doesn't bother me much.
no, from what I've seen, it's really slow. So I prefer the manual anyway. Anything else that you really love about it, or you wish it would be different? Final thoughts.
I really love everything about it. I love my screen. It's nice and big. I love my heated cool seats. They're like powerful. That's one thing that I have noticed working in the summer months at work. When I go to like start it up when I leave, I mean, yeah, it's hot in here, but it cools down like really quickly. Even compared to the 4Runner, I think it also does better than your truck too.
Yeah, I'll say just initial impressions when we first bought it was the ventilated seats on this are better because it also ventilates on your back, or at least it feels like it ventilates on your back, where my truck is only the seat bottoms, and it blows harder.
Oh, it does, because if you like sit up, you can hear it go.
Yeah, that's really nice, especially in the summers here when your back's sweating. So I don't know what we're doing here, guys. We're having a little cluster on the highway. It looks like everybody's going about the same speed. This Ford ain't going any faster.
We're not even going the speed limit.
We're not going the speed limit. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna cut it off there. I'm gonna give any other thoughts. We'll bring it back, but I want to get your opinion since you drive it the most. Since this is gonna be a year old, I mean, we only put. See, it's got 32,800 miles on it. I think when I looked at it when we bought it, it had 25.6 on it. So we only put, what's that, 7,200 miles over a year, which is pretty low. We're pretty low on the 4Runner too, though. So kind of like when we traded in, we bought it with like 66, and we traded in with like what 72, I think. So all right, guys.
Should we listen to Lizzo now?
She wants to listen to Lizzo, so cutting it off. I just want to say we're on this really bad section of southbound Highway 63, south of Columbia, going towards Ashland. When you go on my truck, it literally just goes like this down the road because it's all concrete section. But even with the lift and the 10-ply tires, this thing rides really good still. It's got a little bit of a pulsation in the ride, I think, but it's really controlled, and it ain't harsh. In my truck, you can kind of see the headrests moving, like the seat kind of flutters, and this one it doesn't. We bought the Land Cruiser. We had to go back later to get the owner's manual and stuff because it wasn't in the vehicle. And they actually had the original window sticker in here. So you can see to the Land Cruiser's a 2016 Blizzard Pearl, black interior, built in Japan. Here we'll go down this way first because you can see the fuel economy, 13 city, 18 highway, back in 2016. There's the combined annual cost. Here's the standard features. Here's the optional. We'll see. The base price was $83,825. The person, whoever ordered this, I assume it'd be the Toyota dealership. It's not like people actually. I don't think this guy special ordered it based on the Carfax. It sat for a few months. He put the Blizzard Pearl is $395. Carpet cargo mat set was $225, and the remote start was $499. $995 handling and delivery. Grand total is $85,939. Back in 2016. Alright guys, so I really didn't film a outro on our Land Cruiser review video, so I want to show the window sticker, so I'm going to make an outro now. If you guys like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Land Cruiser. And if you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. We appreciate everybody who's subscribed so far and all your support. Thank you very much.